Hey guys, Sauron here. Just kind of here to talk to you about something that's going on with my life. And that would obviously be from the title of this video that Terry is out in Smash Brothers, and it's awesome. Just gonna say right now, it's awesome. If you don't want any spoilers, if you haven't downloaded him yet, go download him now, because I'm gonna be spoiling everything. This is your spoiler warning of how awesome Terry is. I'm not sure why you would even need that. Anyway, yeah, Terry's out in Smash Brothers now, and this is just kind of an unscripted video. I'm just kind of putting my thoughts together on a video real quick and having it out for you guys this week. Minish Cap is next week, hopefully. I pray nothing goes wrong with that one. We'll see how it goes. But for now, yeah, we're going to be talking about Terry Boulregard. Or Terry Bogard. I don't even remember now. But Terry from Fatal Fury, King of Fighters kind of situation. SNK, like, out of all the characters in SNK, he is probably the most well known. Which is funny to say because here in the States, SNK is not all that well known. Now, when it comes to Terry and my history with the Fatal Fury series, my history is that I don't have any history at all. I am one of the people who could legit say I knew who Terry was. I didn't have to be like, well, who's this? I don't even know the guy. This is some random blah, blah, blah. No. I didn't need to necessarily do that. I do know who he is. I know of the King of Fighters series. I do know a bit about SNK here and there. I've heard about them. And I understand the legacy about SNK. But outside of that, that is about my only experience with SNK. I do know that there is a Capcom versus SNK type game out, so I do know Terry's in that as well. But yeah, I'm not really familiar with arcade style fighting games, but I do know how important SNK was to the, arcade scene. Now, of course, there's plenty of other circuits that were, familiar and are definitely more popular here in the States because they had a bigger home console market as well, like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. I wouldn't necessarily even go to Virtua Fighter, but Tekken. Those games have a huge legacy not only in the arcades, but at home too. While, unfortunately, the SNK lineup, they're not as popular at home. Again, I stress, here in the States. Now, if you go to other countries, there are many other countries that, were freaking out that Terry was going to be in Smash Brothers. And, that's awesome. Honestly, I'm kind of happy that he's here. My biggest fear leading up to this, because unfortunately we didn't know jack about Terry up until the day he was released, which is today, while I'm recording this. We didn't know anything about him until Sakurai was like, yeah, here's the presentation, and he's coming out, when? Right now? Okay, he's coming out right now. Good luck. And probably my biggest fear leading up to this, because I didn't know what was going on, was that he was going to be, in a way, similar to Ryu. Now, there's nothing necessarily wrong with him playing similarly to Ryu, and I'll get to that in a second. But Ryu, I've never been comfortable with Ryu's fighting style. Now, it's not to say it's not a good fighting style, it's not bad or anything like that. It's just, in my play experience, I'm not necessarily good with him. I'm just now starting to get used to doing special moves with the A button rather than with the B button. And because when it comes to arcade fighters, I'm not experienced with any of them. It's not just well, I'm experienced with this one, but I'm not experienced. No, I don't know any of them, okay? I've at least played Street Fighter, but I'm not very good at it, unfortunately. But I've never actually played any of the SNK games. I just kind of know about the characters from friends, magazines. I've become semi-familiar with them, but I'm more familiar with other fighting games than SNK. So if I mess something up, or if I don't mention a reference that you really like, or talk about a music piece that you really... I apologize. That's just kind of where I'm at. And I knew that, like, he wasn't going to be exactly like Ryu when, you know, Terry came out and all that stuff. I knew he wasn't going to be exactly like Ryu. But the problem with Ryu's fighting set is that it feels stilted to me. Like, it feels like there's a bit of a delay with a lot of the combos that you can do with him. You're supposed to play him like you do in Street Fighter. And in Street Fighter, yes, there's a combo system. You can combo people all together. But there's like this weird delay, especially if you've played more recent fighting games. Street Fighter kind of is, I wouldn't say wonky for me, but it is unusual. Like, it doesn't flow like how I'm used to. I'm used to, like, Soul Calibur 2 kind of games, okay? Soul Calibur is probably the only arcade fighting game that I have any experience with, more so than just, yeah, I've played it once, or yeah, I've heard about it. You know, I played the crap out of Soul Calibur 2 for the GameCube. I really did. And I'm still horrible at it. It's about how good I am at fighting games, but other than Smash Brothers, of course. But I was worried that Terry was going to be a lot like that, where, you know, they're taking a character from a fighting game and putting him in with, you know, Smash Brothers and everything like that. I just feel that it didn't translate well with Ryu, at least from my perspective. I know there's a lot of people who main as Ryu, they're great with him, blah, 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 blah. With my playstyle, I was worried that Terry was going to be kind of like another Ryu for me, where I just was going to have a hard time really getting used to his moveset, where he was going to kind of have like this stilted thing where you're supposed to like know which moves to flow into before you can like combo really efficiently, before you can do all that stuff. You're going to have to remember the button combinations, which again, I'm getting better at for sure with when it comes to Ryu and Smash Brothers. So I was kind of prepared for Terry in that regard, but most of my fears were absolutely destroyed about the first 5 seconds of playing as him. And the reason being is because he actually flows. Holy crap, he flows. He flows really nicely for me. I'm not sure why that is. Again, I'm not familiar with fighting games. But, you know, you still have the hardcore, the button combinations and everything like that. And I've actually picked up on a lot of his moves already. I thought they were going to be a lot more complex, and they're not. And I'm starting to figure out kind of how the combos are supposed to flow when it comes to like a joystick or a D-pad. So I'm actually learning more about arcade fighting games from Smash Brothers than the arcade fighting games themselves, which is pretty pathetic for me, but that's beside the point. Yeah, Terry has like, I don't know if it's the cancel thing that Sakurai was talking about or what have you, but it seems like he can just flow real nicely from one attack to the next, to the next, to the next, and it kind of works with my playstyle a lot better than Ryu does. He still plays a lot like Ryu, and I think people are going to take notice to that. Yes, he does kind of play like Ryu because he's still an arcade fighting game character transferred over to Smash Brothers. So in a way, there are some similarities with him and Ryu in that context. But honestly, I think Terry's a lot funner to play as. Like, I actually enjoyed performing his moves. I don't understand anything about them. I don't know crap about them. But at the same time, like, they flow so nicely. And it's kind of cool to have two, you know, more powerful special moves when he's, like, really low on health. I find them hard to connect with for those two moves. But it's like, it seems like whenever I was fighting a computer, the computer would just sit there, and I'm like, alright, time to do a special move, and I'd start inputting it, and the computer would be like, ha ha ha, you suck, and then just jump over it, or dodge it, or whatever. Like, it takes a little too long for the Smash Brothers computer to be like, yeah, nice try. But then again, I'm not exactly super great at Smash Brothers by any means either. I'm okay, but I'm not like professional player by any means. But yeah, that's a big problem that I have with this moveset is it's easy to combo break Terry. Like, I was like trying to get into you know, a lot of combos where I was trying to beat the stuffing out of whatever, and like they would attack around the same time, and it seems like I would get hit when I figured, okay, we're attacking roughly at the same time, we should cancel our moves out. But instead Terry would get hit. So I'm not sure if he can combo really well and his priority just isn't great, or you know, it just kind of leaves them open. I know Terry can kind of counterattack, but if something is blocked, he's left wide open too. So maybe that has something to do with his playstyle. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just, you know, particularly crappy today. I didn't get as much sleep as I probably could have. But overall, though, honestly, from all the newcomers, Terry is super fun to play. I actually enjoy playing as Terry. And not gonna lie, out of all the DLC characters, he's probably my second favorite to play as. And that says a lot because, like, Banjo's my first. I'm really familiar with Banjo-Kazooie series. So, of course, I know, you know, what the attacks are and kind of how to work with them. Joker's my third? Dragon Warrior's my fourth, and Piranha Plant's in there too. I'm not sure. But one day maybe you'll get a list and I can get into more details about all their fighting styles. You know, I gotta go face off with my friends with Terry before I can, you know, safely say that this is, you know, this and that and blah blah blah. But right now, like, it's just super fun to play as Terry. And all the DLC has actually been really super fun. They've been really unique. So that's why it's kind of hard for me to be like, yeah, this character's better than this character, blah, blah, blah. But I do know that Terry actually holds up to the way that I fight, which is a bit more direct and confrontational. And he really works well with that kind of playstyle. And that actually says a lot. Like, the other characters don't necessarily hold up well for that playstyle. Terry does. That's not to say the other characters are bad. I think they're still really fun and really unique to play as. But they just don't hold up to what I normally will do, which is charge recklessly and haphazardly into any type of attack and drama and just try and tank it and beat the crap out of the opponent. It's a horrible strategy, I'm willing to admit, but I'm not bad at it. As for everything else with Terry, you got his stage, which when I was watching Sakurai play on this stage, I thought it was going to be a bit bigger than this, and it's actually really confined from what I found out, and that's kind of interesting. I thought it feels confined, you know. Basically, the whole gimmick of the stage is that there are walls around the sides of it. But if you have an opponent who's like heavily damaged, you can smash them into the wall, and if you smash them hard enough, they'll just instant death, which is great. It's actually kind of an interesting stage. I don't think it's as fun as some other stages that they've had for DLC characters, but it's not bad. It's actually a unique stage gimmick, which, you know, some of the other stages have been just, you know, oh, it's a stage. Oh, this one spins. Yay! No, this stage actually has a lot of thought and effort put into it to try and make it feel like an SNK stage. So, there's also about 20 different cameos from characters, and not all of which are from King of Fighters / Fatal Fury series, some of which are from like Samurai Showdown and other popular SNK series, which Samurai Showdown actually just got a game this year too. I was kind of shocked to see it again. I'm like, wow, Samurai Showdown, cool. And then when they were advertising for an SNK character on Smash Brothers on accident, I was actually wondering if it wasn't going to be a Samurai Showdown character. I'm like, that'd be kind of cool, a Samurai Showdown in there, yeah. But no, Terry makes sense. It's fine. Any SNK character, honestly, I was not disappointed to find SNK in Smash Brothers, and they really reference a lot of characters. They have 50 music tracks, which I haven't even begun to look through these tracks, and I'm kind of curious. There's like Metal Slug music in there. There's Samurai Showdown in there. There's so many music tracks in there. It's kind of daunting to want to look through them all. But that's really cool at the same time. I kind of wish, other characters had more representation when it came to the music, because, like, I don't mind Banjo-Kazooie's track list, and I really don't mind Joker's at all. But a few more songs from them could have been fine. And let's not even get started on Cloud and Hero. Yeah. But, no, Terry was just really fun to play with, really interesting. I played through his classic run, which is mostly stamina battles, and I am terrible at stamina battles for some baffling reason. I had to get good with Bowser, but I'm not super good with them with other characters. I mean, to put it in perspective, I started on 2.0 and ended up on 5.5. I did not do super well. I'm sure you're seeing some of the footage. Again, Terry's a new character, so I always try the new characters out on the smaller difficulty levels. But I've never really actually tried to get to 9.9, honestly. I mostly have Smash Brothers for friends, which is funny because I'm normally a single-player type gamer, but Smash Brothers is the one game that I'm like, yep, friends. It's going to be mostly friends. Single-player content, friends. But, no, it was actually a very interesting, it kind of felt more, they tried to make it feel like a fighting game, which is cool because it ends off with a boss fight with Ryu, Ken, and Terry. Which is funny because you're playing as Terry fighting Ryu, Ken, and Terry. Huh, weird. And it's not like these characters haven't met in a previous, crossover event, so that was kind of interesting. And then the spirit battles. Can I just say Geese is horrible? Like, that spirit battle is so freaking annoying, and I know that he is almost just as bad in the actual game. I never really knew what he did per se, but I knew that he was considered to be one of the more annoying fighting game boss fights. And after facing off with his spirit, I won in my first try, but that was flipping annoying. I didn't like that at all. So there's that. I didn't play all of them with Terry. I played some of them with Terry. I did get them all. I just didn't go through every one of them with Terry. But I tried to get all the fighter ones, You have the other Boulregard. You have other characters. The protagonists from, like, King of Fighters and stuff like that. Like, I recognize these fighters. I'm just not... Other than the fact that I know what they look like, I don't really know jack horse about them, so it's kind of hard. Samurai Showdown characters shows up in that too, so it's not just a King of Fighters, reference board. There's actually some SNK references too, like Samurai Showdown. There was Ikari Warriors, I believe it's called, and the only reason I know of Ikari Warriors is because I believe the Angry Video Game Nerd talked about it at one point in time. And I'm sitting there like, oh, that's an SNK game. I had no idea. That was a Neo Geo game. That makes perfect sense now. Not really. Okay. But yeah, I do recognize the Ikari Warriors briefly. I don't recognize where the girl's from. I think it's like Psychonauts or something. No, it's not Psychonauts. Psychonauts is the Psychonauts is a Double Fine game, now that I think about it. It's a platformer. Maybe Police Knots? Is that the game? Oh, man, I can't even remember now. But, I'm sure I can look it up. Hang up a second. Let me go take a look. Psycho Soldier, maybe? Is that what it's from? Is that what it's called? Yeah, Psycho Soldier. They have a music track, too. That's why I think it's the same thing. But, they also have Art of Fighting character on there, and that's kind of cool. It's weird that Metal Slug has 5 songs and got no spirit battles or even, like, 0 references that I'm aware of in the stage. That's kind of weird. Athena even got a reference and a song. No spirit battle, but at least it has a reference, so. Ikari Warriors has a spirit battle and a song, but I don't know if they have a reference on the stage. That's kind of weird. But, yeah, overall, I honestly think that Terry's worth a checkout. Like, I know most people who have Smash Brothers, if you were semi-interested in the DLC, you probably already have the DLC at this point. Who knows? Maybe there's a bunch of people who just don't know who Joker and, Hero are, and so they didn't get the DLC, and that's, fine and everything. But Terry's fun to play. You get a crap ton of music. You get a really cool stage. I highly recommend this DLC, honestly. I kind of recommend all the DLCs, frankly, because I think all the characters are fun to play as, but I mean, if you're going to go with one, Banjo and Terry are easily, like, the best ones, with Joker sliding in there, too. I think all 3 of those guys are just amazing characters. And their stages and stuff are really cool. I'm sorry, but you get the least amount with Hero because he gets hardly any music tracks. The music that's in there is good, but ripped right from the NES. And the stage is okay, but it really doesn't stand out. And the character himself is, in my opinion, not the greatest. I got him because, Akira Toriyama was awesome. But that's enough ranting and raving for me today. You guys have a good day, and hopefully I'll be able to do a review next week. But this has been Sauron Takes on Terry Boulregard. Enjoy. Bye-bye.